Important lessons from Surah Al-Kahf. Surah Al-Kahf is the 18th surah of the Quran. It consists of 110 verses and is named after the story of the Surah Kahf, Ashab-e-Kahf, people of the cave. The surah contains 4 stories of immense wisdom, which provide us with a variety of appropriate lessons. The story of Ashab-e-Kahf. Test of faith. This story is about young men who were driven out of their homes because they believed in Allah. They ended up in a cave where Allah made them sleep for many years. When they woke up they felt they had slept for a day or half. One of them went to the town to get some food, disguising himself thinking that the people would recognize and harm him. Only to find himself amongst different people. The people of the town were amazed at his appearance of this man and the old coins he was using. Lesson learnt. The story shows us how Allah protects the righteous who believe in Him no matter how hard their situation is. Allah Almighty puts a person's belief to the test, and when he or she remains strong in their faith, Allah helps them in manners that are beyond limit. Furthermore, the story teaches that a believer must surround himself with nice and ethical individuals at all times. The story of a man with 2 gardens. Test of wealth. This is a story about a man who owned 2 beautiful gardens and was extremely wealthy. However, his prosperity led him astray, and he began to doubt his belief. He became arrogant and told his friend, "I am greater than you in wealth." He even expressed foolish confidence that these possessions would never leave him, and the day of judgment will not take place, but if it were to occur, Allah would grant him even greater possessions. The righteous man. The other man condemned his act of disbelief. Furthermore, he pointed out that the ungrateful owner should have attributed his success to Allah's will and accepted that all power lies with him, as God can quickly destroy his coveted possessions. Indeed, that was precisely what happened as his precious belongings were destroyed, leaving him in a state of despair. Lesson learnt. The story of a man with 2 gardens consequently teaches us that one should always be grateful for Allah's blessings. We must not become egoistic about our worldly successes and bear in mind that all we have is from Allah and He is capable of taking it all away if He wills. The first point is that all riches or blessings are a test from Allah. He is truly putting those whom He provides to the test to see if they will be grateful or not. We must learn that the treasures of this life are all fleeting and temporary. The story of Prophet Musa and Al-Khizr. Test of knowledge. This is a story about Prophet Musa alayhi salam and Hazrath Khizr. Allah had ordered Musa alayhi salam to join Khizr on a journey to gain valuable knowledge He had bestowed on Khizr. Khizr agreed to go with Musa alayhi salam, provided he should not ask any questions during their travel. Very soon, Khizr made a hole in their boat, prompting a query from Musa alayhi salam. This was the first violation of his promise to remain patient until their journey concluded. The next question came when Khizr killed a seemingly innocent boy they came across. Eventually, they entered a town and requested food but were rejected. Despite that, they repaired a wall that was on the verge of ruin. Musa alayhi salam then questioned his reason for not seeking payment for the chore. Khizr then said that was the conclusion of their journey and proceeded to explain his actions. The explanation. The boat's owner was poor, and he made a reparable hole in it to protect it from a king who was seizing all useful boats. The slain boy would go on to be a source of grief for his pious parents by sinning and committing acts of disbelief. Hence Allah intended to replace him with a superior, righteous child. The rebuilt wall was owned by 2 orphans, below which their noble father had buried a treasure. Allah wished to preserve the treasure's secrecy so that the orphans could safely claim it once they grew up. Lesson learnt. Allah bestows His knowledge upon whoever He wishes. Nobody should ever feel he or she is the most knowledgeable, as all the knowledge belongs to Allah alone. Wisdom is not something to be boastful of, rather knowledge should teach humility and remember that there is constantly somebody has a greater understanding of the issue than oneself. The story of Dhul-Qarnayn. A righteous king. Test of power. This is a story about Dhul-Qarnayn, who was a righteous king. He traveled the lands. The Quran mentions 3 of his journeys. On his last journey, he reaches a place between 2 mountains where he met a tribe of people. They asked him to build a wall between them and the people of Yajuj and Majuj, who were causing mischief and corruption in the land. Dhul-Qarnayn agreed to do so and built a wall that could neither be climbed nor be penetrated. Allah's help. Dhul-Qarnayn said that Allah's provisions for him were superior to any amount they could offer him, but asked the people to lend him men to assist. They were thus able to close the gap between the mountains using iron and molten copper. This barrier sufficed their aim to repel Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Lesson learnt. However, Dhul-Qarnayn was not proud of his achievements. In fact, the Quran mentions that after he built the Great Wall, he said, "This is a mercy from my Lord. But when the promise of my Lord comes to pass, he will make it level with the ground, and the promise of my Lord is ever true." Power and leadership is a gift from Allah, therefore those to whom he grants power, he puts to the test. Those who have authority over and in comparison to others should utilize that power to accomplish good, make others' life simpler, and fight for justice. The best way to take advantage of this surah. According to a hadith recorded in Sahih Muslim, memorizing the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf protects one from Dajjal, the Antichrist. Those who recite this surah on every Friday, Allah will forgive all of his or her sins. Besides, the 4 lessons derived from the 4 stories of Surah Al-Kahf are incredibly beneficial for Muslims, providing us with prudent guidance on how to conduct ourselves in a wide variety of scenarios, as we strive to become upright Muslims. May we all get the benefits of reciting Surah Al-Kahf. May Allah protect us from the fitna of Dajjal and forgive all of our sins. Ameen.